Psalm 36. Let's get into it. Verse 1 through 4 starts off saying, I have a message from God in my heart concerning the sinfulness of the wicked. There is no fear of God before their eyes. In their own eyes they flatter themselves, too much to detect or hate their sin. The words of their mouths are wicked and deceitful. They fail to act wisely or do good. Even on their beds they plot evil. They commit themselves to a sinful course and do not reject what is wrong. These unbelievers lack the sense to know they are about to fall under God's wrath and face a righteous judgment. They lack the sense to make provisions against the coming judgment, whether that is to hide, bargain, or repent. The wicked are unbelievers. These are people who do not recognize God as having any authority over them. As a result, they live life outside of wisdom. They think their iniquity cannot be found. The wicked think what they are doing is in secret and cannot be discovered. What makes this flattery self-destructive is the wicked flatter themselves. They have adapted their thinking so they can imagine themselves as something other than people destined for destruction. The devil deceived Eve into doubting the consequence which God promised for disobedience. You shall not die, he told her, for God knows that when you eat of the fruit, your eyes will be open and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Sin is so deceptive that it denies God's truth and shows itself to be desirable. A common attitude among those who reject God's wisdom is the deception of thinking there will be no consequences. Those fooled by sinful thinking assume no one will know or care about what they have done. This perspective is wrong. It means looking at sin from a fallible human perspective instead of through God's eyes. Let me remind you, no creature is hidden from his sight, but all are naked and exposed to the eyes of him to whom we must give account. When Adam and Eve sinned in the Garden of Eden, they tried to hide from God. Sin causes sinners to try to hide from God, but every such attempt will fail. No one escapes the punishment deserved for sin. Our God is so patient, loving, slow to anger. He gives us so much time to right our wrongs, repent, ask for forgiveness, to really come to him and humble ourselves. And a lot of you are still, questioning, why is this happening to me? Why am I losing money? Why is my life falling apart? Why are things so imbalanced in my life? You have to think back. What did I want to happen to another? What did I want to happen to that child of God, to that person who probably did nothing to me, to that man or woman who was minding their business? Was I wishing bad on them? Was I wishing them loss, death, whatever you were wishing? You got to think about that. You might have forgot, but God didn't. We really got to stop playing stupid when the same thing we wanted for another shows up at our doorstep. People want to assume someone is behind the scenes doing something to them. God saw everything you did to his son or daughter. And now it's your turn, your time to be on the bottom of the wheel. You thought it was funny when someone else was going through suffering from your hands, from what you did, because of your lies, your witchcraft, your evil deeds. You can't wish death, loss, misfortune on someone and expect an abundant life, not on a child of God. Time may have allowed you to forget what you did. Maybe you even started believing your own lies. But let me tell you something. The Most High God did not forget. Proverbs 16:18 is a famous Bible verse that warns against arrogance. The Bible assures us that pride goes before a fall and warns, let anyone who thinks that he stands take heed lest he fall. That if you are too confident about your abilities, something bad will happen that shows that you are not as good as you think.